What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another exclusive interview with PW Mania. My name is Scott Mitchell, and joining me today is one of the all-time greats in TNA, wrestling, Impact Wrestling, you name it, Eddie Edwards. How are you doing today, Eddie?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you for your time. It's going to be we're in a very exciting time for TNA for sure, and it was recently announced that you re-signed with TNA, and it feels so good just to say TNA's name again because I grew up on that show and I absolutely loved it. But so, what does it mean to you to resign and be a member of the locker room?
You know, I think a lot of people know that this is the place that I want to be. I've been here for going on 10 years at this point, and I've stayed here for that long for a reason. I've always believed in what we've been doing, and the goals that we want to accomplish. And so, my relationship with the company has always been great. So for me, it was pretty much a no-brainer. My contract wasn't up until the end of February, so we were actually ahead of schedule. We got it all set and planned out and signed on the dotted line. And for me, that just gives me comfort and it gives me pleasure knowing that I'm going to be a part of TNA forward. With all this momentum that we have, for me, is just without a doubt, this is what I want to be part of. And it's like we have all this momentum going forward. We have the big TNA announcement. We're back as TNA. It's like this is an exciting time, and I wouldn't want to miss it.
Definitely. And obviously the hot news right now is TNA wrestling is back. And that is something that all the TNA fans, myself included, are so excited about because that was a show that we grew up on for sure. Impact was amazing and is amazing to this day. But so what does it mean for you that the name TNA is back and the name and for like the wrestling industry as a whole?
Yeah, for me, when I first started with the company, it was TNA at that time, and then obviously switched to Impact and going back to the TNA. I think first and foremost, of course, there's the nostalgia feel. You grew up watching. A lot of the fans grew up watching it, and I think over time, some of the fans who grew up watching TNA, they may have faded away, or they may have gone off and doing something different. But I think the fact that people hear the name TNA back, I think it perks people up. You know what I mean? You hear it like, oh, TNA's back. For a lot of times where I'd be talking to fans or people in local town or whatever, and I tell them on Impact, and they're like, oh, okay, cool. I'm like, yeah, I used to be a TNA, and then oh, TNA. You know what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
there's a good name value with TNA, and I think it's a great opportunity for us to reintroduce our to wrestling fans, whether casual or diehard, to show you that this is what TNA is. We're back and we're better than ever. It's a great time for us.
Definitely. And you look at some of the all-time classics in TNA history that involved yourself and even prior to joining TNA, like, the likes of AJ Styles and the likes of all the absolute legends who came out of TNA, Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley. And what does it mean for you to like work with a lot of the TNA legends and you're becoming a TNA legend right now?
It's still pretty wild. I've been doing this over 20 years at this point, but anytime I'm in there with people that I grew up watching, or guys that I've watched from afar, and people that I respect, it's always a cool thing to be able to sit back, which I try to do a lot more, to kind of sit back and be like, this is pretty cool. This is my dream job. I've always wanted to do it, and now I'm in the ring with a Saban, Tommy Dreamer, Shelley, all these different people that I've respected for so long, and to be able to be a part of something with them, it's a pretty crazy feeling to go back, think back 20 years ago before I started, like to think that this is where I am and I've been able to accomplish what I have. It's a pretty special feeling.
Absolutely. And A Hard to Kill, which was going to be taking place Saturday, January 13th, will actually mark the return of TNA wrestling. What can fans expect from that show and what can we expect from you?
For us, for the locker room, I mean, the energy is just going to be, you won't be able to measure it. And I feel like for us as a company, anytime we have a pay-per-view, our roster goes out there and absolutely kills it each and every time. And I think that, Hard to Kill, there's going to be a little something extra in it. It's the big return of TNA. It's the first show of the new year of the new company, and I think a lot of people are going to be buzzing in the back, and I think the fans, I hope the fans will be as well. And you never really know what to expect. Who knows? Expect the unexpected. But as a whole, if you're a wrestling fan, Hard to Kill is going to deliver because much like the company itself, it's going to have something for everybody. It's going to have the knockouts, it's going to have the tag team, going to have world title match, tag title match, a little bit of everything for everybody. And I think it's the perfect pay per view to kick off the year, kick off the return of TNA. Hard to Kill, which sums us up perfectly.
Absolutely. And it's grateful to be watching it from a fan standpoint and seeing that the name is back is just awesome. So recently you got to work with ABC, Chris Bay, and Ace Austin. You teaming with Brian Myers for the titles at Final Resolution. What was that match like for you, and what was your mindset heading into that match?
Me and Myers, we have a good connection where we're good friends outside the ring. So for us being able to tag together, it was a pretty cool moment to be able to go out there and we've talked about in the past, not too serious, but we always kind of put it out there. Hey, maybe we can do some tag stuff, and it came to fruition. We got to go out there, the last show of Impact Wrestling to go out there and tag. Your mindset going in, you just want to go out there and deliver, and of course, you want to win those tag titles. But you know, sometimes things don't work out the way you want them to. But I feel like me and him, we had good cohesion between us, good chemistry, which is not a surprise. So I think that's just the start of what we could do going forward. That was just a little taste of what we can accomplish. And, in the new year, who knows what's going to.
And at the upcoming Snake Eyes event, you're going to be teaming with Brian Myers again with the added element of Moose actually as well. But you're going to be going up against the Machine Guns and Okada. What's that like for you to go up against obviously some of the best that the wrestling world has to offer?
Yeah, the Guns, of course, one of, if not the, one of the best tag teams ever, and especially in TNA. And then, Okada making his return after, since I don't know 2011 or whatever it was last time he's here, and of course everything that he's accomplished in Japan, is going to be a pretty big moment. So to be able to be put in a spot like that, and for me personally, be able to do it, with guys like Myers and Moose, who are two of my best friends, to go out there and have a big main event like that. It's like, all right, this is the time for us to go out there, show the company, show the fans, show everybody what we can do in that ring, and go out there and deliver. So I'm looking forward to the pressure of that match. It's going to be a good one.
Definitely. And you talked about Moose being like one of your best friends and stuff like that. And you two have had some absolute wars on TNA back in the day and Impact back in the day. But what's it like, going from opponents to now tag team partners as well?
You know, uh, this is what happens. It just happens over time. You know what I mean? You wrestle for a lot of stuff. You're gonna wrestling everybody or fighting everybody. You're gonna have tagging, with different people. Sometimes you tag with somebody just randomly here and there, but when you get to tag with guys that you truly respect and guys that are your friends outside the ring, it's a cool element. It's something different. It gives you, I don't want to say it gives you more pride, but it gives you a different connection to, the guys that you're tagging with and you go out there. It gives you a different goal to do it together. It's something a little bit more unique.
Definitely. And you're also a former TNA and Impact World Heavyweight Champion. What was it like for you to win both of those championships? And, do you have anyone else on your mind going forward?
You know, Winning that TNA title, I did it against Bobby Lashley, who, is just a freak of nature and one of the best guys inside and outside the ring. And at that moment, when I win that world title, I think it was surprising for a lot of people, and it was surprising for me to be able to be in that spot, to be able to be the one TNA championship at the end. It's a very special because in this business, as in life in general, there's a lot of ups and downs. And at different points in my career, I didn't know if I would ever be given that chance or given that opportunity. And I was able to do that and again become the world champion. And then as far as, the second time winning the Impact title, it was during the pandemic. The world was crazy and messed up, and the professional wrestling world was weird and different because there's no fans in the building. But again, to be able to be the such an uncertain time in the business and the company and the world in general, it was pretty special to be the guy, holding that title, being the face of Impact Wrestling at that time. It was a very special moment.
Absolutely. And obviously, you've accomplished so much, and massive congratulations for everything that you have accomplished so far. And so, looking back on it, obviously, one door closes, a new one opens. Impact Wrestling was fantastic. TNA Wrestling is back. Do you have a favorite moment of yours from Impact Wrestling?
Oh man, it's tough. That is a tough one. Of course, winning the title is, of course, a big moment for me. It's tough to look at one moment for me as opposed to the journey itself, the whole thing as a whole. It's like we wouldn't have one moment without going through something before. I wouldn't have had the matches with Sammy Callahan if he didn't break my face with a baseball bat. Everything's intertwined. I feel like my feuds with Sammy and my feuds with Moose. Those are two that really stand out for me during my time at Impact Wrestling.
Definitely. And, going forward, do you have any future goals or future opponents that you would like to face?
You know, uh, the fact that Snake Eyes get to go up against Okada, which is that's a one of the goals that I'd like to accomplish, and I'm going to be able to do that. Um, as far as other goals, it's more or less kind of stay the same, stay on the same track where continue to help the company the best I can to move forward, where we all have the same goal. We all want TNA to succeed. So my job is to go out there and perform to the best of my abilities and to be as much as of help I can be in the back for whoever needs it. You know what I mean? I want to be the guy that fans and my coworkers and my friends look to, if they need any type of support, or if the fans to look at me as one of the faces of TNA. As long as I'm at the forefront, I'm going up, I'm getting the opportunity to do what I love. I'm going to be happy, and I just want to help TNA succeed. And I think we're all on the same page there.
Definitely. So going forward, what or not going forward, but what is a message that you can give like your fans and the fans of TNA who are tuning into this interview and watching this?
Well, to the fans who have supported me, or if you're just now supporting me, or if you tune in because you hate me, it doesn't matter. I want to thank you for all of it. You guys are the reason that we go out there. We all learned pretty quickly that during the pandemic, wrestling is not the same without fans. So to those fans, thank you for tuning in and coming out, and just continue to support TNA wrestling and support professional wrestling as a whole. We're all in this together. We all, love this crazy sport, this crazy world that we're in together. So just enjoy it, man. Right now is a good time for pro wrestling. So we're all very lucky to be a part of it now. And, let's just do it together. Let's have a good time.
Definitely. And you heard it here first. Also, don't miss Saturday, January 13th, Hard to Kill. TNA is back, and we're in for a wild ride. 2024 is going to be an amazing year for Eddie Edwards and TNA as a whole.
You know it. We're back, baby.
Awesome. And I appreciate your time again. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, dude. Appreciate it.